Hey everybody, Mr. Gibson here. I'm making a video for your interactive notes this time because I am switching them up. I'm switching up how you do them quite a bit. Okay, and hopefully this will make things a little bit easier on you. They won't take as long, and you'll get a little bit more out of them. Okay, so the way we're going to do it this time, there's still a PDF you're going to open with Kami, but when you open it, this is what you're going to see. Okay, so I have gone in and filled in all the blanks. So no more going to the PowerPoint and just copying and pasting the answers. Okay, they're all there for you. Now, what your job is two things. One, you are going to use the information here in the reading to answer the questions in the margin. Okay, so this is having you, instead of just giving you all this information to copy and paste, I'm giving you all the information already there, and we're using the questions in the margin to help you pull out the information that you need. Okay, having you actually recall the information is, I think, going to be more beneficial than having you just copy and paste it. Okay, so you're going to do the questions in the margin. I know I've said in the past that that's not part of the grade because that's just there for you to use to study, but I think this is a better way to use them. So the information is already filled in. You're just answering the questions in the margin, okay? Except for here, where it says practice, you will do this practice here, okay? And then finally, you will do the summary page. Okay, so what I want to do now is if you have not completed this assignment, pause the video, go complete the assignment, because what I'm about to do is go over the answers to the summary page. So again, that is designed for you to check your answers to make sure you got them right after having tried them. So I want you to try these first, then come back to the video and make sure you got them right. I'm assuming if you're still on the video, you've already done these and you're just waiting to see if you've done them right. So let's check and see if we did. So this group down here in the F block, so it's called the actinides. Okay. The first group or first vertical column on the periodic table is called the alkali metals. The second one is called the alkaline earth metals. Okay. The next to last column, group 7A, those are called the halogens. You've probably heard of halogen light bulbs. Those are light bulbs that have halogens in them. Okay, this whole block down here is called the inner transition metals. Okay, the first row of the inner transition metals is called the lanthanides. The way to remember that is it starts with the element lanthanum. Okay, that's what it's named after. And then you saw up here on the first one that the second row is called the actinides. And that row actually starts with actinium, so that's why it's called the actinides. Okay, the last group, group 8A on the periodic table, is called the noble gases, and those are called the noble gases because they're gases and they don't react with anything. They never associate with any of the other elements. They always stay by themselves. Okay, you have the halogens, you've got the noble gases, and then all the other nonmetals are just called the other nonmetals. So they are this group here, this little bundle here, and hydrogen. Okay, so you've got the alkali metals, alkaline earth metals. Those are all metals. The intertransition metals, all metals. The post-transition metals that you see here, this little staircase looking thing, those are also metals, and then this whole block here is called the transition metals. So metals actually make up about 80% of the periodic table. Only about 20%, these few here and here, and then the halogens and noble gases are non-metals. Okay. So what are horizontal rows on the periodic table called? Well, they're called periods. Okay, there are 7 periods on the periodic table, 7 rows. Okay. And vertical columns are called groups or families. I'll most of the time call them groups though. So you've got group 1, 2, then you got the transition metals, and then it picks up on the other side, group 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, and 8A. Those are all groups, vertical columns, okay? Electrons in the highest occupied energy level, we know this already. These are called valence electrons, or the outermost electrons. The electrons that are not valence electrons, or that are on the inner shells, are called the inner shell electrons. So that makes sense, right? Number 4 says, which subatomic particles have the biggest impact on the property of elements? Well, it's the electrons. The name of the game in chemistry is electrons, where electrons do all the chemical reactions. They give their elements all their chemical properties. Okay, so electrons, super important. Alkaline metals and alkaline earth metals, valence electrons are found in the S sublevel. Remember, they're in this first and second column, which is the S block. Okay. Transition metals, the valence electrons are found in the S and the D sublevels. Halogens, valence electrons are in the S and P. For nonmetals, valence electrons are always found in the P sublevel. For nonmetals, I already read that. For intertransition metals, the valence electrons are found in the S and the F. So remember these intertransitions, the lanthanides and actinides, that's that F block. Okay. And for noble gases, the valence electrons are always found in the S and P sublevels, and those sublevels are full. That is why the noble gases, they don't want any electrons, they don't want to give away any electrons. They're happy the way they are because all their sublevels are full. Okay. Number 11, elements in group 1A and 8A of the periodic table are called representative elements. Okay. So any groups that start with A, 1A, 2A, 3A, all the way to 8A are called the representative elements. Okay. And a neat trick about the representative elements is that the group number that those elements are in is the same number of its valence electrons. So for example, magnesium is in group 2A, so it's got 2 valence electrons. Boron's in 3A, so it's got 3. Cesium's in 1A, so it's got 1. And you can see the correct answers here. If you got any of these wrong, make sure you go back to the periodic table and you can tell, okay, oxygen is in group 6A, therefore, it has 6 valence electrons, okay? If you need any help or if any of this is confusing, feel free to email me. And hopefully this is a little bit more beneficial the way we're doing this time, okay? Good luck, guys.